let's move on to the next section where we learn more about the importance of not just regenerating, but protecting the ones that we already have. The importance of protecting beta cells. We know how important beta cells are, obviously. People with type 1, we're so concerned with getting new ones because we don't have enough. They aren't doing the right things. So we need to preserve the existing ones that we have and create an environment conducive to regeneration. One point I want to take pause and get across is that even if you have type 1 diabetes, even if you had it for 50 years, you still have beta cells. You still have them. They're still there. You see that top paper there, residual insulin production and pancreatic beta cell turnover after 50 years of diabetes. Okay? And that wasn't a case study. That wasn't like, oh, we found one person. It's like it was worthy of a report. So I'm telling you, it doesn't matter how long you've had diabetes, your pancreas is still functioning. It still has beta cells. It's just a matter of creating the correct environmental conditions to allow for those beta cells to flourish. And that's what we really need to pay attention to. So we got to nourish them, right? We've got to make sure that we are giving them the right things to grow. Antioxidants. This is kind of like the out with the bad aspect of in with the good, out with the bad. Antioxidants protect the beta cells from oxidative stress. Vitamin C, vitamin E, the fat solubles, glutathione. We get into things like magnesium, vitamin D, which I can't believe didn't make it on the slide, but fat soluble vitamins in the antioxidant aspect of things. Vitamin D is there, okay? Zinc supports insulin production and beta cell health. Magnesium is involved in every single enzymatic process in glucose metabolism. We are chronically deficient as a society now. So magnesium is going to be a major part in creating an environment where beta cells can do what they need to do, right? Anti-inflammatory foods, omega-3 fatty acids, green tea keeps coming up, dark berries, dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is also magnesium rich. It's got plenty of other antioxidants in it as well. And then this is kind of just a good way that I look at things for the importance of what goes into beta cell health. So at the foundation, whole foods. Like we've got to get past the processed foods, or like no more enrichment, no more fortification. Adequate fiber, right? The processing of foods is what is like robbing everything of its inherent nourishment, right? So adequate fiber, nutrient dense, healthy fats, right? So healthy fats kind of plays into the, unmeddled with, unprocessed foods aspect of things, but just pay attention to real food. That's really like in your day-to-day life. Not like, oh, I'm going on a diet of whole foods. It's like, no, this is what eating is from now on. And once you have that foundation in place, you have a resurgence of available vitamins and minerals. There are specific ones that you want to focus on when it comes to beta cells specifically. Magnesium, vitamin B6, vitamin B3 as well, niacinamide, trace minerals, zinc, copper, manganese, selenium, chromium, vanadium. These are all things that both operate in beta cells directly in terms of handling stress in the cell itself, but also in outside things like the gut. Iron metabolism involves all of those trace minerals. You need all of them in order to handle iron properly. D3K2, in terms of managing our calcium levels, now that I kind of think vitamin D's biggest role is in making sure calcium goes to where it needs to, because if it doesn't, it can really mess with insulin secretion. But there's no limit on its roles in immunity as well. And then the fat solubles, right? So making sure that we're paying attention to our liver health, right? Liver is what's responsible for digesting fat-soluble vitamins. Vitamin A, retinol, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. Huge, huge antioxidant capacity. We don't get nearly enough the way that our food is processed. And so focus on rich natural sources of those. Then plant compounds, right? Those, again, come along with the foundation of whole foods. But quercetin, resveratrol, curcumin, EGCG, these are the all-stars. You're going to find them in just about any paper on natural ways to mitigate inflammation and help yourself with diabetes. And let's not forget the top left-hand corner here: regular exercise, clean water, healthy stress management, right? You have to, this is foundation, right? The exercise, clean water, stress management, and whole foods, that is the foundation from which everything else grows, right? We need to make sure that those are for granted, right? There's no debating those. Because they all have incredible ties to beta cell health, from blood sugar management standpoint, from a stress reduction standpoint, from a rest, recovery, and regenerate standpoint. Huge. Okay. So could be building lean muscle mass through weightlifting, HIIT training, walks, running, you name it. Stress reduction. Lots of different ways to do this. Avoiding your electronics too late at night. Sleep hygiene is a big part of this, making sure that you're staying hydrated, making sure that you're getting your electrolytes. Sweating is a big part of your body's natural ability to detox. Make sure that you are sweating. And kind of just like building an intuition with your body, resting when you need to rest, going when you need to go, and riding the waves of hunger, not hungry, not eating because you're bored, right? Don't eat because you're bored, eat because you're hungry. If you're bored, you could drink water, drink tea or something like that to kind of, fill your hands. But do everything that you possibly can to reduce any sort of outside sources of stress on your beta cells. And then some of the outside things. So I've got an episode here on me going to the chiropractor, what I learned about dural tension, vagal tone, lots of really interesting nervous system stuff that kind of goes by the wayside in the wellness world. But I think there's a lot of merit to it. Herbal support, turmeric, berberine, those are just two examples. There's a lot more. I've got a link in my description for a herbs and supplement guide. Supplementing GABA, alpha lipoic acid, these are all natural antioxidants. And then things like acupuncture, it errs on the side of woo-woo, but managing your energy, your emotional energy, making sure that you are moving regularly, allowing energy to flow regularly. You have emotional outlets, you have people to talk to, your social network is very important. Make sure that you are also checking those boxes. And I just wanted to kind of reiterate the science behind all of this. I don't want you to think I've made any of this up. Some of it requires out-of-the-box connecting dots, but there's pretty much a paper behind each and everything that I've talked about here. Hormone and GABA, for me, is one of the most exciting just because it is kind of naturally sourced and very targeted for beta cells. There's always more coming out. There's always more to learn. So our microbiome, like what are the specific bacterial strains that we can pay attention to that are going to help create more GLP or help fight pathogens, and in the long run preserve our beta cell health. And then long-term goals, realizing that everyone's journey is going to be a little bit different. There's going to be a personalized approach, combining the nutrition aspect, the outside therapies, all of the lifestyle adjustments necessary, it's going to be dependent on where you're starting from, right? What nutrients do you need? What's your diet been like? What's your emotional status like? What's your stress status like? It's going to be different for everyone. So everyone kind of needs to start educating. Education is the root, right? Because once you know, you can kind of start to make educated decisions in addressing your unique situation. Pretty straightforward here, like none of these things are going to like change your life in a week. This is what you do now for a long period of time. I've been at this 2.5 years now. And the mindset of, oh, this is just what I do now, as opposed to, well, I took this berberine for 3 months and it didn't cure me, so it doesn't work. Not necessarily, right? It's still an important piece in a larger puzzle. You've got that puzzle piece in place. Now it's just a matter of finding the other puzzle pieces that create a whole picture, right? So diet, lifestyle, integrative approaches, and future opportunities. Always keep your eyes open for what's to. I know you've heard all of this before, right? Clean water. Oh, make sure you exercise regularly. Oh, make sure you eat healthy. All of this, we've been overloaded with this kind of like diet and exercise prescription to the point where we don't hear it anymore. And it's not specific enough to our unique condition for us to give it any validity. But we can clearly see that there are direct influences on our overall health and thus our beta cell health by taking part in these very, very simple and straightforward means to reduce oxidative stress and put our body in a position to sustain beta cells. So I don't want you to take any of this lightly. Sleep hygiene puts you in a better position to regrow beta cells. Drinking clean water puts you in a better position to regrow beta cells. Not eating processed foods, getting outside and getting sunlight on your skin on a regular basis is a way to put your body in a better position to regrow beta cells. Don't take that too lightly.